Hello and welcome everybody back to the 13th episode of Joe's NBA Podcast. Okay, first of all, I know I've been gone for a while, but that's been due to a lot of stuff. It's because my voice has been dead, I went on a school trip, my grades were all getting mixed up, I had to get those all fixed before the quarter ended, and yeah. Anyway, this week I've come back with Joe Week, even though I'm not going to be able to post tomorrow, but every single day except for tomorrow this week, Monday through Friday, there's going to be a new podcast, so be on the lookout on Wednesday for the new one. So yeah, let's get into our first topic. We got a lot to talk about, so yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so for our first topic today, guys, we have if the NBA ended today, what my bracket would look like, and what my awards would look like. So first of all, we got a bracket. So the first seed is going to be the Warriors, the 8th seed is going to be the Clippers. 4th seed is going to be the Portland Trail Blazers, and then the 5th seed is going to be the Jazz. 2nd seed is going to be the Nuggets, with the 7th seed being the Spurs. The 3rd seed is going to be the Rockets, with the 6th seed being the Thunder. That's just what it is today, Monday. Yeah. So first round, we have Warriors versus Clippers. Obviously, I'm taking the Warriors there. No doubt about it, they're going to beat the Clippers. I think that matchup's already set. That's the only matchup that we have really set for the playoffs. So yeah. And then we have the Trailblazers versus the Jazz. I'm taking the Trailblazers there because I feel that Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum can beat the Jazz, even though they do not have Jusuf Nurkic due to that crazy injury. I feel like that was terrible. I feel like that could affect them, especially on the defensive end, because now Rudy Gobert is going to be a big threat to them since their center isn't going to be Jusuf Nurkic, who's great. And then we have the Nuggets versus the Spurs. I'm taking the Nuggets because the Nuggets have actually been really good this year, and with Nikola Jokic playing at like an MVP level, even though nobody's talking about it, and they just have so many good role players, it's just so great. I feel like they can beat the Spurs, who really have DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, with a few good role players, but not really as much as the Nuggets have the 2 seed also, and home court advantage for most of that. So yeah. And then we have the Rockets versus the Thunder. I'm obviously taking the Rockets there because James Harden and Chris Paul and Clint Capella is just a big three that I feel can definitely defeat maybe even the Warriors, but we'll get onto that later. And then the Thunder, Russell Westbrook and Paul George, they're great, and Steven Adams too, but I feel like that's not enough for them to beat the Rockets, so I have the Rockets moving on there. And then we have the Warriors versus the Blazers. I'm taking the Warriors there because Warriors have 5 All-Stars, basically, 5 former All-Stars at least. And the Blazers have lost Jusuf Nurkic, so DeMarcus Cousins is going to be a problem there. And then Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are going to be too much for the Blazers' backcourt to handle. And then they have Kevin Durant. So it's like they can't handle that. I feel like the Warriors are definitely going to win that. And then we have the Nuggets versus the Rockets. I have the Rockets winning that because I feel that the power of Chris Paul, James Harden, and Clint Capella is just too much for Nikola Jokic and the rest of their good role players to handle, so I have the Rockets moving on to the Western Conference Finals along with the Warriors. And then we have the Warriors versus the Rockets. I'm going to take the Warriors there, even though I'd like the Rockets to win, but I just don't believe that they can. I believe that the Warriors' 5 former All-Stars is better than the Rockets. I'm going to call Clint Capella an All-Star kind of player. He could be an All-Star, but they have like 3 potential All-Stars and 1 MVP, basically, is what the Rockets have. And then on the Eastern side, we have the 1 seed being the Milwaukee Bucks, the 8th seed being the Detroit Pistons, with the 4 seed being the Boston Celtics, the 5 seed being the Pacers, the 2 seed being the Raptors, with the 7 seed being the Magic, 3 seed being the 76ers, and the 6 seed being the Brooklyn Nets. So the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Detroit Pistons, I'm obviously taking the Bucks there because the Bucks are really good. They have Giannis, they got Chris Middleton, they got Eric Bledsoe, they got so many good players, and they have a great coach that really helps them put them over the top. And then we have the Celtics versus the Pacers. I'm obviously taking the Celtics there because they're firepower with Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford. They just have so many good players and a great coach. So, yeah, I feel like they can beat the Pacers without Victor Oladipo. And then we have the Raptors versus the Magic. I'm obviously taking the Raptors there because the Magic have Nikola Vucevic, and the Raptors have, I don't know if you've heard of him, Kawhi Leonard. Obviously a really good player. there. He's an MVP candidate. He's obviously not really in the race. It's really just James Harden and Giannis. But we'll get on to that later. Anyway, and they also have Kyle Lowry and Marcus Gasol and Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby, so they're really good. So I feel like they can just sweep the Magic there. Then we have the 76ers versus the Nets. I'm obviously going to take the 76ers there because the Nets have an all-star player in D'Angelo Russell, but other than that, they're okay. They have Jared Allen, they have Karis LeVert, but other than that, not really that amazing. And the 76ers, they have Ben Simmons, they got JJ Redick, they got Jimmy Butler, they got Tobias Harris, they got Joel Embiid, so I feel like they're just too much for the Nets to handle. And then we have the Bucks versus the Celtics. I'm taking the Bucks there because Giannis, Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, I feel like is going to be too much for the Celtics, who have been struggling with team chemistry all season. I feel like it's too much for them to handle with who's their star player, and we really don't know what's happening over there. So I feel like the Bucks are definitely going to win that. And we have the Raptors versus the 76ers. I'm going to take the Raptors there because I feel that the Raptors are just such a good defensive team with Kawhi, and they're just so good on both sides of the floor. And yeah, the Sixers have Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler as great defenders. So I'm still taking the Raptors there. And then we have Bucks versus Raptors. I'm obviously going to take the Bucks here because I feel that the power of Giannis and Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe is just too much for Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Lowry, and Pascal Siakam to handle. So then we have the finals with the Warriors versus the Bucks. I'm obviously going to take the Warriors there because I feel Kevin Durant is a good enough defender to slow down Giannis, and I feel that the Bucks just aren't that great of a defensive team to slow down every single one of the Warriors' stars and their bench. So I think that the Warriors are going to be our NBA champions this year. I could see them getting upset to the Rockets, and I could see the Bucks getting upset to the Raptors. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Hopefully the playoffs are great. So yeah, and then for award races, if the NBA ended today, we have James Harden winning MVP. We have he's averaging 36.1 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, and 7.6 assists. So how could you not give him the MVP? Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Oh my gosh. And then we have Giannis winning Defensive Player of the Year. He is averaging 1.3 steals and 1.5 blocks, and what he's done on the defensive end for the Bucks has really put them over the top and helped them win first seed in the NBA. And then we have sixth man. I'm taking Lou Williams, who's averaging 20 points per game and 5.4 assists off the bench for the Clippers, and just really great. Everybody thought after they traded Tobias Harris that they were just going to be out of the playoffs, they were going to rebuild, but no. They came out, and now they're the 8th seed, playing the Warriors in the first round, so that's crazy. And then we have Rookie of the Year. I'm taking Luka Doncic, even though he's, after the All-Star break, he has been, slowing. He's been not that great, and Trae Young's just been killing it since the All-Star break. I'm still going to take Luka because of what he's done for the Mavericks this year, being such clutch, averaging 21.2 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, 5.9 assists. I feel like that's an automatic Rookie of the Year status. And then we have Most Improved with Pascal Siakam of the Raptors, and he has 17 points per game, 6.9 rebounds, and 3.1 assists. And that doesn't really show what he's done this year for the Raptors. He's been just such a great player. He's done everything he's needed done for the Raptors. So I believe that is my bracket and my awards if the NBA ended today. So let's get on to our next topic. Okay, so for our second topic today, guys, we have my top 10 point guards. And through this week, we're going to be going through my top 10 point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, and ending with the centers, obviously, and power forwards. Didn't mention them. But, okay, so for my top 10 point guards, number 10, I have Goran Dragic. He was great last year. He had an all-star season, and he's done pretty well this season. Not an all-star. I'm not 100% sure if he was an all-star or not, but I don't think he was. And then we have Kyle Lowry at number 9. He's been great for the Raptors this year, helping them get to the number 2 seed this season, helped by Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, he's been really good on the offensive and defensive end, actually. And then we have Kemba Walker at number 8, who's just been so great for the Hornets this season. Really, at the beginning of the year, he was just killing it. He was having 40-point games. He had a 60-point game in there. He was just putting up 30 on like a nightly basis, just absolutely carrying the Hornets on his back. Like he had a backpack on. He was like, "Everybody hop in, get in, and we're gonna take a ride, right?" And he's just been killing it. I don't know. I wish this man was on another team, because if you saw him pair him up with like Devin Booker, and those two players could just be insane. Like Devin Booker doesn't have much help, so I feel like if you pair those two together with Kemba's scoring and passing and Devin Booker's scoring and passing, you can't combine that together and you have like a great duo. And then at number 7, I have D'Angelo Russell, because what he's done for the Nets is just crazy. He's been killing it. He's been going on a nightly basis. He's led them to the playoffs. I don't understand why we traded him, why my Lakers traded him. I am very confused. I know, yeah, we wanted Lonzo. We thought Lonzo was going to be the future. D'Angelo wasn't really doing that for us. But still, D'Angelo had so much potential. You pair him up with Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma now, and dang. Actually, no, we wouldn't have had Kyle Kuzma because we got the rights from the Nets. So still, we wouldn't have been that great. But still, like, we would have still had, like, pair him up with, we probably would have taken Tatum if we hadn't done that. So pair him up with a great scorer with Ingram and Tatum, and then put that together, and, like, that's crazy. That's insane. We should have kept him. I don't know why we traded him. I know, yeah, they're in the playoffs. We're not. I mean, that's crazy. I can't believe D'Angelo Russell can lead his team to the playoffs, but LeBron can't. I get it. East is much easier than the West, but still. Come on, LeBron. And then we have number 6, Chris Paul, who's been really doing well for the Rockets. He hasn't done that great this year, but still he's doing great for the Rockets, always doing normal Chris Paul things, putting up a pretty good stat line, doing a lot of assists, doing pretty good, doing what he needs to do for the Rockets to help them win. Then we have Ben Simmons at number 5. I mean, technically, he's not a point guard, but technically he is, so I don't really know there. He plays point guard, but he's as tall as, like, power forward, so I don't know. But he's been really good for the Sixers this year. He's been just killing it. He's been so great on the offensive end. Yeah, he doesn't really have a consistent jump shot, or not consistent at all. He doesn't shoot threes unless it's like a half court at the buzzer, obviously. But at least he's not afraid to take those shots to ruin his percentage, because he doesn't have a percentage, because he doesn't take enough shots. And then we have Kyrie Irving at number 4. I just believe that Kyrie Irving is a great player for the Celtics, and I feel like he's going to leave in the offseason. He's going to go somewhere. We don't know where. I'm pretty sure from a statement that I saw somewhere, it said, Kyrie Irving said in an interview, what city do I love the most? New York. What's my favorite free agent this year? Kevin Durant. Put the puzzle pieces together and solve the puzzle, basically, is what he was saying. And I feel like if Kevin Durant goes to the Knicks, then Kyrie Irving will follow. But if Kevin Durant doesn't go to the Knicks, then I don't know. He might go somewhere else. And then number 3, Damian Lillard. What he's done for the Blazers this year is just absolutely incredible, leading them, I think, to the 4 seed they're in from my bracket I saw. And then, yeah, I just think he's been such a great point guard this year, putting up so many points for them. And even after Nurkic has been injured, I still think he can win the first round against the Jazz right now. And we have Russell Westbrook at number 2, who had an insane stat line, 20, 20, and 21. Only 2 players in NBA history have ever done that. Russell Westbrook and Wilt Chamberlain. And Wilt played in like the 50s and the 60s, where they were not as good as the competition today. And Westbrook did it against my Lakers, which wasn't very happy, but still, that was an insane stat line. Just absolutely great for Westbrook. I think he can cause some noise in the playoffs. And then at number 1, obviously, Steph Curry. He is just insane. I feel like if you take Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson or anybody but Steph Curry off of the Warriors, I feel like they could still be a contender. But if you take Steph Curry off that team, I don't think that they could be that great of a team, because Steph Curry is that glue. Steph Curry is what keeps that team together. Steph made the Warriors, basically. They just played their last game in Oracle, and they got to request what jerseys they wore. Like, what? It's crazy. Well, I mean, regular season game, not last game, because I think it was they're getting a new arena next year. So yeah, obviously Steph Curry's a great point guard. That's my list of top 10 point guards. Make sure to look out for the rest of the list, probably on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So yeah, let's get on to our next topic. Okay, so for our third and final topic today, guys, we have my mock draft of the top 10. And so, number 1, I have going Zion Williamson, a small forward from Duke. Obviously, we've seen him been doing great. Well, he did just get eliminated, and now we have the finals for March Madness. But he did get eliminated, but still. Zion was great this year. He was putting up such great numbers. He was just dunking on everybody. He even had an okay jump shot this year. He was just doing windmills, doing crazy lobs, playing good defense. Zion, I think, is a consensus number 1 pick. So, yeah. Number 2, I have going Ja Morant from Murray State, a point guard. His athleticism and the way he just knows how to play the game is just crazy. I love how Ja plays, and I feel like he could fit seamlessly into a lot of systems in the NBA. So I feel like he's going to be a great NBA player and develop into potentially an all-star or even an MVP. And then number 3, I have R.J. Barrett. He's a shooting guard from Duke. A lot of people know him. He did kind of choke in that game. I think, he missed a free throw that he was trying to make, and then he made a free throw he was trying to miss. I don't know how you do that, but he did it. And, yeah, I feel like he's going to go number 3, but I don't know. He was doing really good, then he choked. But, I mean, he did have that game winner, tip-in that one game, but I don't really know. Some teams might say that he choked and he might fall a little bit in the draft, but I feel like he's still going to go number 3. Then number 4, we have Kobe White. Don't know a lot about him, but I've read up a little bit about him. And he's a point guard from North Carolina. I feel like he's going to be pretty good. I don't know, though, because I haven't seen a lot of him. And then we have DeAndre Hunter, small forward from Virginia. I saw his game, and he's just a really great player, I think. I feel like he's going to be a pretty good NBA player. I feel like he could do pretty good in the NBA. And then at number 6, I have Bol Bol, the center from Oregon. Okay, I feel like Bol Bol is kind of he's really good because he's tall. I get it. You can't just be good, because he's tall. You don't just make the NBA just because you're tall. But still, his height is gonna be seen by a lot of teams, and that's gonna be pretty good because you saw how a lot of those tall guys turned out. A lot of them had ankle injuries and knee problems and leg problems, and there's a whole thing with that. But I feel like he's gonna go number 6 to whatever team is drafting there. And then number 7, I have Jarrett Culver. Don't know a lot about this guy, but I just know he's a shooting guard from Texas Tech. I think he's gonna be good. And then number 8, we got Rui Hachimura. Love this guy, small forward from Gonzaga. I think he's gonna be great. That's just where I think he's going, number 8. And then we have number 9, Jackson Hayes, the center from Texas. I think he's doing pretty well. No, never mind. I think that's Texas. I forgot who's in the finals. Virginia versus somebody, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. Number 10, I have Cam Reddish. I almost said Cameron Reddish. He's a shooting guard from Duke. He's a great shooter. This is a guy I really do know because I've seen Duke play. Cam Reddish has been really great this season with his three-point shooting, so I feel like he's going to go number 10. So, yeah. Okay, thank you guys for watching today's episode of Joe's NBA Podcast. Remember, there's going to be no podcast tomorrow, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to be gone all day, but make sure to tune in on Wednesday. It's going to be great. Joe Week has returned, except for tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Make sure to have a great day. Live your best life. See you guys next time. Peace out.